In lesson 9, we're working with percentage word problems, and we'll find whatever missing piece is asked for. Our first example is about wood nymphs and maids. The wood nymphs and the maids gambled and frolicked before the banquet began. If 70% of those present were wood nymphs and 120 maids were present, how many wood nymphs came to the banquet? Alright, what I suggest doing is maybe setting up a chart, and then we'll solve this by using ratios. There are other ways to work the problem, but that's the way I'm going to draw up for you. So we have the wood nymphs and the maids and a total. Sorry, not very straight lines here, guys. Okay, now this first one is going to be the percent. And the next one is going to be the actual number. Okay, so for the wood nymphs, we know that was 70%, the maids were 30%, and of course your total is going to be 100%. Now, this is the number that we want to find. So we need to keep that in mind. But they actually give us the number of maids, which was 120. And I knew the percentage of maids was 30% because there were 70% wood nymphs. Okay, so I just subtracted 30 from 100 to get these, the 70 from 100 to get the 30, sorry. Okay, but we'll probably have to find this first in order to get the actual number here, at least in the way we're presenting today. So what we can do is set up a couple of ratios. If I do 100 over 30, that would be equal to x over 120. Now the reason I put the 30 on bottom and the 100 on top is because I wanted my x on top and my 120 on bottom. It just makes it a little bit easier to solve. So in this format, all I need to do to get x by itself is multiply 120 on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so here this would just be 4, so x equals 400. So there were 400 total. Now that still doesn't tell us the number of wood nymphs. So what we need to do is subtract our 120 from the 400. 400 minus 120 equals 280. That's what we're looking for. Wood nymphs. I'm running out of room there, sorry. Alright, and then we found how many wood nymphs. So let's look at our second example. This one is talking about the harvest. The harvest was cornucopian, as it was 120% greater than last year. If the yield was 140,800 bushels, how many bushels were harvested last year? Alright, so we'll go ahead and set up our chart. Alright, so this first one is last year's and how much more this year, and our total. Alright, so last year's percent and the actual number. Last year's was 100%, and then this year we have 120% more to make our total 220%. And we are actually looking for this number, the actual number for last year's harvest. And then we are given 140,800 bushels that were harvested this year. So what we're going to do is set this up again in a ratio. We'll have n over 100% would be equal to 140,800 over 220%. So if we multiply both sides by 100, we get n equals 64,000. And that is the number of bushels harvested last year. So we'll label that bushels. Alright, and that is the end of example 2 on lesson 9.